also one of our science advisory board members. He's on our compliance committee. This guy does it all. We're so happy to have him share with us today on some of the product training that we need when we're building this business. So, Dr. Brett Brimhall, go ahead and take it away for us.
Hey, Skylar, thanks a bunch. Welcome, everybody. I'm beyond excited to be with this group of individuals. We were talking the other day this morning, and I got asked, am I nervous? And I said, absolutely. I get nervous every time I'm here because I feel a sense of responsibility to speak and to share with you what I know and my experience, just so it might help somebody. Because I know right now on this call, there are people out there wondering, am I doing what's best for me and my family? And then what can I do to help others around me? I mean, and especially right now with what's going on in the world, there's a very unique time in history where everybody's really looking at, am I doing what I should be doing and can be doing for my health? And so I want to kind of talk about some of the questions that people tend to have, but I want to kind of give you a little of my background and a little bit of my story of how I ended up here. Definitely not something I ever saw myself doing. My passion has always been healthcare and wellness. I grew up with that. When I was a little boy, probably 7, 8, 9, I would refer patients to my dad, because I thought everybody should have what he gave me. I grew up, if I had, was hurting, couldn't sleep, was stressed, I got adjusted. I took my vitamins because that's what I was supposed to do, and I felt better. And I thought that's what everybody had. So I've done that my whole life. The fast forward to that, when I started a mission, I came home and I learned that I loved helping people physically and emotionally. I'd love to teach. It's a passion of mine. And as I've kind of continue that journey, I got with my dad into speaking with him. And for the last 25 years, I trained physicians. And I want to give you a little bit of perspective of what that looks like. My dad has practiced over 40 years. He began to practice in 1971 as a chiropractor. He started studying nutrition in the 1970s. He started lecturing on hair analysis and heavy metals clear back then, and was formulating vitamins and minerals. So he has formulated over 200 different vitamin mineral supplements over the last, since 1970s. And the process to develop a supplement is changed drastically and very different with what we have with LifeVantage. And so when we were in the process of looking for a formula, it wasn't because we were trying to go create something. We were in clinical practice, and we had people that were struggling with this and that. And we were trying to find out, how do I help them feel better? And we look in the marketplace for supplements and the science and blend up. And so what most supplements have been formulated over just looking at different ingredients and trying to combine them in order to get a certain result, but not really having the clinical experience. So with us, it had to make sense in the research, it had to show well in lab tests, and it had to work clinically. Like, it had to do all those things. And so when people brought me supplements, I looked at it very differently, because I knew what it took to develop a good supplement, not only to develop the supplement, to make sure that the ingredients that you're using were the right ones and were in form that would be usable. And so when people brought me supplements, including Protandim years ago, they brought me Nerve 2, and I looked at it and it just didn't look like anything special, right? This was years ago. And I apologize for that, but that was where the space I was in. So you're going to talk with clinicians that are that way. They just don't see anything special with it, until I saw a change in somebody's life. And it wasn't even with the Protandim, it was with the Axio. I literally watched this person unfold in front of my eyes after working with them every week for a year. And I knew something was different, but that's what got me digging into this. And so when I met the scientist that developed Axio, and he said to me, people are tired because they're mentally tired, not because they're physically tired, I started thinking about most of our jobs, most of our careers, most of the things that we do are mentally taxing. And I was addressing fatigue from a body perspective, an adrenal perspective, a thyroid perspective, way more than I was addressing it from a brain perspective. And that's what happened with this individual, and what I see time and time again. So when I dug back in then to LifeVantage and how they were formulating, as people always ask me this question, like, which product's the best? Well, here's what I always wanted to know. The most expensive product is the one that doesn't work. The most expensive product is the one that doesn't work, all right? And so when you're looking at how LifeVantage formulates, this was not born out of somebody's dream of, I just want to make, take this ingredient. It's born out of a laboratory. It's born on looking at cell science and looking at switches inside our body that if you're a mammal, you have them, right? So every single one of us that are mammals have these switches in us, and we aren't guessing if these switches get turned on by these products. We know that they do, because we have the studies to show that. Not only do we have that from an individual perspective in the individual products, but as we look at the tri-synergizer, the effect that it has cumulative, right? And so I want you to have extreme confidence in knowing that LifeVantage has, the reason why I believe these products work the way they do is they're not trying to fix a symptom. They're actually addressing a system. They're taking the energy system of our body and maximizing its potential. You're taking the repair system of your body and you're maximizing it, right? So because LifeVantage has created products with that philosophy in mind and can test it in the laboratory, we are getting the results the way we are. And so that's the powerful part. I want you to have confidence in that, right? Is that the products work every single time, right? People always ask, well, here's come the questions, what am I going to experience from this, right? What am I going to experience from these products? Well, we don't know, but are they working? The answer is they're always working in you. What you're going to feel is different based upon your experience. Most people, they don't feel something right away because they've been feeling cruddy a really, really long time, right? And so here are a couple of things I want you to keep in mind. When people start the product, let them know there's a compound effect to the product. I think not only with the length of time you take the product, but the combining of products. Unfortunately, in our day and age in which we live, people are wanting immediate results in everything that they do. I really wish that would work out in the gym as well. I'd love to work out once, right? And never work out again and have the benefits that I got. But the reality is, when you look at somebody that's been at the gym and they've been consistently working out for years, you can see it, right? You can see it in their physique and in their form, right? If they stop working out, they'll maintain that physique and form for a while, but eventually that physique and form or the tone of the body will change. Well, that is exactly the same thing that's true when it comes to these nutritional products that we have. When you activate these switches and you start beginning that process of changing the tone of how these systems work, they're going to get more efficient. So a person's going to feel in month one, which we know in 30 days of taking the Nerve 2, they're roughly a 40% reduction in oxidative stress response of the cells in the humans across the board, whether they're 20 or whether they're 80. Now, but you may not feel anything at that point in time, right? But if you consistently do that over time, your body is going to fix what it has to first, what it wants to second, and eventually you're going to feel a difference. Now, what if you quit? What if you say, well, you know what? I'm just going to stop. Well, you're going to maintain some of that tone for a period of time. And I listened to a thing the other day from one of the scientists in the past. They said about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, you'll maintain that tone. And then eventually it's going to go back to what it was. So to me, these products are part of my health strategy, right? I brush my teeth, not because I like to, not because I enjoy the flossing thing. It's because I believe that doing that every single day is going to have an effect upon the longevity of my teeth, right? But if you stop doing it for a week or a month or a year, you may not get a cavity. But if you do that long enough and you neglect that process long enough, it will absolutely affect your health. So for these products, I want everybody to know they are part of my health strategy, both for prevention, but also for therapeutic, right? How cool does Washington State say that NRF2 activation, specifically the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of medicine, preventatively and therapeutically, right? So when it comes to what these products are doing, they work as long as you take them, but it will take time, right? It's going to take time because they're the compound effect. Most people that die of heart attacks, they never had a symptom, right? So 50%, right? So we can't expect to pay attention to a symptom to know if something's working or not working. It's got to be part of your health strategy. So I want you to have confidence in that. And every single person on the planet is doing something for their health strategy, right? Whatever it might be. Maybe it's small, but it's something. Well, teach them the importance of doing this, because truly the most expensive product is the one that doesn't work. And right now, guys, I just looked this up this morning, 20% of products sold in the world today, or in the United States, are nature made. Like it's just a general vitamin mineral supplementations, not based on new technology. I just was kind of cruising through some of these crazy books that I read all the time that relate to what we're doing, right? So what you're doing, the products you're offering, the conversations you're having, it is new. You are pioneers in the field of nutrigenomics, in the new science of understanding, hey, Your body has a unique ability to heal and repair. We always knew that, but we didn't know how to turn them on, right? You now have the ability to understand what these switches are, and all you have to know is just take them. Like, you have to take them. If you don't take them, they won't work. But the effect over time is absolutely cumulative, right? And it's very important for people to stay consistently on it. Another thing I want to talk to you just saying, because people always say, well, they say this word, detox, right? And I want to kind of reference to this because when I start exercise, when I haven't exercised for a while, I don't feel so good. I kind of hurt, right? So that's your body adapting to change. So when you start, sometimes these products, some people feel like really good, really fast, right? Right. And others, right? Others, they feel not so good, right? It's the same with exercise. Sometimes when you start exercising, you do not feel good. So that's your body adapting to the change that's taking place. But guess what? If you quit smoking, or if you quit drinking, monsters, right, or whatever it might be, you might not feel so good. So let people understand, like, as your body adapts to change and cleans up, it's a possibility that you may not feel great yet, but you got to increase your water, increase your sleep, increase your stretching, and your body will go through it faster. Here's a common thing I see happen all the time is people feel better when they start doing some of these things, especially when we're doing the whole thing. You guys, I still Vitality Stack, NAD, Axial every day, right? Me and my family. Why? It makes it super easy for me to make sure as a father that I'm doing what I can to give my kids and my family what they need to handle this crazy world they're in, physically, mentally, emotionally, and biochemically, right? So when you start adapting to change and they start feeling a little bit better, sometimes people do more. All right. I want people to reserve 20% of their energy for healing. It's so common. People say, well, I don't feel anything. Well, it's because they were feeling a little bit better and they did a little bit more. Right. So if you feel a little better and you're doing more, you're still at a net zero for healing repair. So please know that what we all have with LifeVantage, with the science of nutrigenomics, and understand that the company and the standards of how they produce products, how they get the right ingredients, where they go find them, they're not only at standard FDA, they're above standard FDA. They're setting the standard. They're testing every batch that comes in of raw ingredients. So from a standard in the industry, we are setting the bar in LifeVantage of creating solid products, clean, sustainable, but also ones that are answering a very different question. Andy Andrews says you want to win the game when nobody even knows the game's going on. We are playing the game, understanding that there are gene switches that most people don't even understand that they're there, or better to begin to understand. But not only do we know they're there, we're focused on how to act in and learning how to tell that story. So as you listen to the rest of the people on this call and you hear their stories about how they started their journey and how they're explaining these stories, we all start that same place at Pro One, right? And then we just kind of work at it, and we make mistakes and we fall, right? And we trip and we get back up and we hop on these calls. Guys, I need these calls maybe more than anybody else, because I need to hear the same things that we're hearing, because we get beat up out there. So I am so grateful to be a part of you and this team and this company to help change the lives of individuals that are looking for things right now in this crazy world that has got solid science, solid results, with phenomenal people that are out there trying to share that story and bring people in who want to be part of a solution that the world so greatly needs. So Tyler, Skyler, thank you so much for allowing me on this. I am beyond excited to listen to the rest of the people on here, especially and hear their energy. So thanks again for the opportunity to hop on this.